This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 ready to rock and roll on this Football Friday. Record high gonna come tonight. Maybe 90 sometime today. Won't be 90 for kickoff around the state, but it's gonna be plenty warm. And we're gonna be live tonight in Castleton to get you ready for our game of the week with a good one there between Grand Forks, Red River, and Central Cass. 2A football been really interesting so far. We profiled earlier with the games to watch this weekend. Minot North had a good year. Kindred, we know, is good. Devil's Lake is off to a nice start. And so are the Squirrels. Head coach Tommy Butler joins us on this Friday as they get ready to welcome in Red River for what should be a dynamite night for a football game. Appreciate you doing this. Tell me, we talked plenty about the adjustment of going from A to 2A. Now you're halfway home. Has this gone even better than you thought, or is this about what you thought you would be this year?
I mean, obviously the slip up against Devil's Lake is not what we want. Obviously, our goal always is 12-0, be state champions. So, with that loss, our mindset is just regroup, continue to learn, continue to grow. And I think that's what this group has done. We have a tremendous leadership team that we got on our team. And, these kids are bought in, they're willing to put in any type of effort that we ask of them. And, even with that loss, it was, we're on to the next week. And I think that's what our kids are so good at, is just continuously battling adversity, and it never lets them waver,
You've coached for a bit around here, so obviously you knew what the talent level was. How about for the guys? There's only so much you can tell them during fall camp or, leading up to the season. Was it early on, maybe the Devil's Lake game, where you thought, okay, it's a different level of football we're playing at now?
No, honestly, I mean, when in the league that we were in, having Kindred in there, Velva in there, I mean, there's some dudes in there.
Yep.
And we've been playing that for a while. The other nice part is we have a lot of really good kids on our team. So it's not like we just got 2 kids and that's it. So our guys get to see really good competition every day in practice. But like I said, I mean, and that old level, like there's some really, really good teams. I think, between us 3 teams, I think we could have competed at that AA level the past couple of years. So, that Devil's Lake game to me was 100% on me as a head coach and as us as a staff. I thought we put together a horrible game plan. And again, I think we've learned from that, and our kids just continue to believe and trust that we're going to come up with some good ones for them.
Okay, so let me get on the flip side of that. Since playing that level of football, has it made the transition easier then, quote unquote,
yeah.
My word?
Yeah. Again, I Travis Lamar's had a great plan moving forward. When I was the head coach up in Stanley. And one of the things that happened to us was when I was up there, we were single A dominant, it was awesome. We move up to AA and we weren't ready. We weren't bought into it. People complained, oh my gosh, how could we possibly compete at this level? Where here at this one, we knew the transition was coming. We had been playing Fargo schools and JV games for a couple of years now. So our kids were ready for it. We said that from the moment we were going to move up to AA, the standard is the standard. We are trying to win a state championship. And again, our goal is to win every single game that we compete in. I think for us that's made if you want to call it the transition easier, is that, the standard doesn't change for us.
When you get, especially knowing full well who's going to be on the schedule, just sometimes it pops like you're going to go play Fargo South. That's different, and you've done it in the JV level, but that's going to be different. When you saw that, just for the guys of coming into Fargo to play, how big a deal is that?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, me and Coach Berg, we've been friends for a while now, playing together at Valley City State. We talked about how we couldn't wait to get up to the AA to go. We want to go see some Class A crowds out there, that are going to get raucous and, get wild. So we enjoy that. I mean, I coached at Fargo South with Troy Mattern for 2 years. So for me, getting back there and getting to play against those guys, and I've known Tyler for a long time too. So, getting to be around those guys and play at that level is one, it's where we should be. Our talent level is at that level. So, we're excited for that. I think our kids, like I said, were maybe a little hesitant at first, but the moment that we start, competing, it's, we're excited to every game matters, and every every play matters at this level. You have an off night like we did against Devil's Lake. You get beaten, and again, credit to them for that. But you don't get to have bad nights at this level.
Tell me about your quarterback. What has he brought to the table, being a returning guy that's played for Brody Kegley, and how well he's played for you so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's a dog, man. I mean, he's just a dog. Like, he's a competitor in every way. Bought in this year that he knew he had to get bigger. Obviously, he had a great year last year as a sophomore. Had to get bigger, had to get stronger, and completely bought into that. And knows our offense in and out. Is able to make checks if we need him to. Him and our offensive coordinator, Coach Iverson, are like, I mean, they're attached at the hip. So, for him, I think the game has really slowed down. We want him to be a field general out there where we wanted to make the easy throws, but man, he makes some unbelievable throws down the field that I think really, teams can't just key in on the fact that we're going to run the ball and throw, short hitches and bubbles. Because he'll absolutely light you up down the field.
To have a guy like that back, what does that do for you as a coach? That we've got a guy that knows it now. Does that give you freedom to coach other areas, knowing your quarterback is as solid as he is?
Yeah, so I coach the defense, and to have an offense that's as good as ours is, man, playing defense is way easier. When we were up in Dickinson, we go down 2 scores. They take the opening kickoff back in the second half. It's kind of feeling insurmountable. And then that dude just leads us right down the field, making crucial third down throws. And then we score a 2-point conversion, get a stop. We go back, score right away again. And all of a sudden we're winning. So to have an offense that can score points, man, calling defense is way, way easier like this.
I have to ask, I think your last game, did you have one of your offensive linemen score a touchdown? Can you break that down for what happened?
Yeah. So I grew up in Oregon. My head coach was all about trying to get our offensive linemen to score touchdowns. So I got to score one as a senior. And since I've been a head coach here, we've always tried to get our O linemen to get something. Last year we had our left tackle throw a pass. This year, we get Evan. We have been talking in the offseason, how do we want to try to score? Came across this clip and showed it to him, and the big fella was ready, man. All week he was running corners over, and then we get in the game and we throw that hook and ladder to him, and then he freaking dives, right in front of the WDAY cameraman. I thought he was going to go try to body surf in the crowd, but that was all of our volleyball team over there, so I was glad he didn't do that.
Oh, man.
But it was awesome. I mean, our kids went ballistic on the sideline, and what an awesome way to cap off our homecoming night.
I can't believe yours was scored. You didn't get to the other guy who's the Division I guy. Who I don't know if anybody wants to get in front of him, right?
Yeah. So Aiden, if you don't know, Aiden is about as quiet, mild-mannered, Minecrafty kind of guy. We kind of talked about it. He's like, nah, I'm okay. So to Evan's like, heck yeah, let me score. I'm trying to get in there, Jennings Cooney's our center. Is like, hey, you got anything dialed up for me? So, we got something ready, though.
I was going to say, you've created a monster here now because your receivers and backs are going to want the ball, but now your offensive linemen are like, hey, hello, give me the rock here.
I mean, we're trying to create some energy and fun around our place, so that's really what it comes down to. I mean, if as an old lineman, blocking all the time is fun. It's really cool pancaking somebody, but man, you tell me I get a chance to tote the rock a little bit. Can't beat that now.
What was your play that you scored on? I'm sure you can tell me vividly. Can you describe what that was?
Yeah, I mean, we call it guard special. Just a little handoff. I played guard. It was like the Nebraska Fumblerooski. Very, very similar to that. 9 yards out against the Crook County Cowboys.
Oh, there it is. You still have the ball?
No, we were too cheap. I can't get that ball. That's budget items.
Tell me about your opponent tonight. What do you know about Red River coming in?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Muir has been good for a long time. I got a tremendous amount of respect for him. I got to coach with him up in the Shrine game. He's been around a lot of ball. So they got a lot of athletes. They're big up front. Obviously, playing in the state championship game, they got a lot of experience there. Again, they graduate guys, but it's, at this level, it don't matter. Like you just got the next crew ready to reload. And, I've been telling our guys, don't let that record fool you. 2-3 is not, it's not a regular, those 3 losses are not against schlubs. So, those are against some of the best teams in literally in all of North Dakota football. So for us, it's, we're excited to play them. We know this is going to be a really, really tough matchup. But again, I think we're excited to try to make them one dimensional. They want to get their ball to their athletes in space, but they are still a run team. They'll still cut you with the run game. So we can make them one dimensional, and then obviously offensively, they're big up front, and they're going to try to make us one dimensional. And we got to let our big dogs get moving downhill.
Forgive me for asking this because I can as a broadcaster. Don't give me the head coach answer, but your last 2 games are Central and Kindred, who they're right above you. How much you're telling the guys everything we want is in front of us. We take care of business, we're going to be the number 1 seed.
100%. I mean, I'm a firm believer that if you to have an end goal, you got to have a plan. So to me, like I told you, we plan to win every single game. I don't ever shy away from that. I know that is really hard. We've never done that. We haven't won a state title. So you could for sure just, try to bash on me that, oh my gosh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. But to me, I think you got to have a roadmap. So that's exactly what we talked to our kids about was, this is now the new regular season that every one of these games matters. You obviously want the number 1 seed. It makes your life way easier. But you have to take care of every game one by one. You can't get to Kindred without beating Red River, without beating Central. So for us, obviously, yes, those games are going to be awesome, but those games don't mean anything if you're 1-4 going into that Kindred week. So
I asked Eric about ending with you guys. I'll ask vice versa. You like having them as the last game of the season?
Heck yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! I mean, we want that matchup. That's the dream. Again, I think, and I would eventually he would tell you the same thing. I think we've made each other better. Yeah. Our rivalry has gotten better too, where it's. There's a lot. It's not just disdain. You hate them. I mean, obviously, I hate the color blue. I don't. I got 3 little girls. I mean, if you tell them something about blue, I mean, they're 2 thumbs down all the time.
That's fantastic.
But it's awesome. Our rivalry is what you want in North Dakota. I think where it's competition, but I got so much respect for those guys. I got respect for their kids. I think they play the right way. So it's going to be a fun matchup, but to me, we want to get there, granted, we're 4-1 or, could potentially have 1 loss on our team, but I want that matchup to be, us, 7-1 going in there. They're 8-0. That's the dream. And hopefully we come out on top.
I got to ask you, I know I talked with Travis about this, your perspective. We were talking about Aiden earlier of when he, in your mind, became a Division I prospect. Is there a time, anything that stand out to you to say this, okay, he's got it, he can do it at the next level?
Yeah, well, when he was a freshman and he was sitting in my office and he tells me at the end of the year, hey, Coach Butler, I'd like to be like Riley Sunram and be a Division I recruit. Hey, brother, I'm glad that you got goals, but boy, we are a long ways from there, right? So, and obviously I'm not going to tell him that, but I just told him, hey, we got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things that you got to start doing. And the one thing that I had told him that was, he needed to get stronger. He was not very strong. He's pretty weak. And I said, he goes, well, what's something that I could do? And I gave him just a really easy, to me, this is a great test to see if you're really about that life. And it was, it's just a push-up thing. Hey, every week, figure out how many push-ups you can do at one time, times that number by 3. If you can do 10, that means you're going to do 30 push-ups a day. You do that every day. And then every week, whatever day you start on, let's say it's Sunday, every Sunday you retest. How many push-ups can you do? You got to 12 now. Now you're going to times that out. We just keep on moving. And he would literally come to me week after week. Hey, Coach Butler, you won't believe this. I got to, 12 push-ups. I got to 15. I'm like, hey, man, that's cool. And it was, watching him go from, the first time he benches 115 pounds and he's like literally jacked up about that to now, he's benching, almost 300. Like, it was that. It was seeing that he's really doing everything that you ask of him and more. And always wanting more, trying to meet with our O-line coach, Avery Locke, who's one of the best in the business. how can he do it? Like he'd meet with him, in the summertime, doing one-on-ones with him. So to me, that was really what it was. And it's the same thing with Evan. Evan is the same exact person. So when you get two legit guys that are Division I, Division II prospects, boy, it makes you look a lot better as a coach.
Well, Lockway always loves to throw the football, so I don't know if Wiersma's now a receiving threat after what you did last week.
Hey, that boy's got some sweet feet. So, I mean, if you want to get him at some tight end now.
I'll let him know. He's on the show on Tuesday, so I'll let Steve know on that. This was great. Before I let you go, do you have a habit? Do you have a routine, like you personally, before you go out in the field? Do you have anything you have to do before you get out there?
Yeah, go run 3 miles.
No kidding. Seriously?
I'm an ultra marathoner. I ran a 58 mile down in the Badlands. So got to get a run in before we get going. So that's kind of what I like to do. Again, as being an old 300-pound D lineman, I'm trying to make sure I don't get back up to those 300 pounds again.
58 miles?
Yep. This summer.
Where did you go? Tell us about that.
Down in Medora.
Okay.
So it was actually the hottest weekend of the whole summer. It was when it was.
Of course it was.
It was like 97, or like it was 95 or 96.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was awesome. I had a great time. My wife came out there. My sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, father-in-law were kind of my aid team. There was a couple moments there where I thought, maybe your boy ain't going to be making it out here alive. I ran out of water and ran out of food.
Oh my gosh.
Right in the hottest part of the day. But, you just kind of got to keep battling. And, if you're going to tell kids that they got to do hard things and they got to keep working, how could you be over here and looking like a schlub out here? So
more power to you. How long did it take?
13 and a half hours.
Holy cow. My goodness. What did you eat when you were done? What was the first thing you devoured?
For a cookie. They had these unbelievable cookies that were sitting there that I probably about 3 or 4 of those things. So and I don't know if they were really that good or if I was just
hungry. Yeah.
Literally dying. But yeah, that was awesome. And then trying to fight off the full body cramps.
This has been fantastic. You know what? Because I know Travis and I go back a long way. We share a bond since we're Jets fans, but I will make sure we get you back on the show sometime soon, okay?
Love it. Appreciate it, Dom.
Thanks so much for doing this, bud. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Hey, go Squirrels.
There he goes. Tommy Butler joining us, Central Cass head football coach. That was fantastic. Oh, man. 58 miles? Seriously? I'm excited. We did 3 walking yesterday. That is wild stuff there, and looking forward to that. Again, Central Cass and Red River coming up tonight. You can see it live right here on WDAY Extra at 7 o'clock out in Castleton. We're overdue for a break. We'll get caught up here. We got a bunch of emails to get to. Update on the Vikings. Who's in, who's out. That list keeps getting longer, which ain't great. Back on a Friday football edition of Hot Mike right after this.